Tasya Jnanashalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome back to the Friday and Saturday discussion on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the Nectar of Devotion summary study. In the last two classes, we began with the discussion on Bhava Bhakti, which is the third wave. We had a little overview and in fact, an overview of the southern division also of the Rasa. And then we reviewed the definition of Uttama Bhakti. Especially we discussed Anushilanam because in Bhava Bhakti definition, it is important for us to understand. So that's why we reviewed that. And practically a class we spent discussing the definition of Bhava Bhakti. We saw the Swarup Lakshan and the Tatastha Lakshan in Bhava Bhakti. And now, today, Rup Goswami, in the next verse, he will begin to discuss the ways in which Bhava Bhakti appears. What are the different ways in which Bhava Bhakti appears? So this is the next verse of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. 136. 1 is the eastern division. 3 is the third Lahari, third wave, verse number 6. Sadhana abhinivesha ena Krishna tad bhaktayostata prasadenati dhanyanam bhavo dveda bijayate adyastu praikistatra dvitiyo viralo daya. Bhava appears in a very very fortunate persons in two ways. Ati dhanyanam. with great, very, very great fortune, Bhava appears in two ways. Bhava, Dveda, Abhijayate. Jayate means it appears by absorption in sadhana abhinivesha ena. So as a sadhaka absorbs himself in sadhana bhakti practice, that is one way, or by the mercy of Krishna or his devotee. Tatat Krishna tad bhaktayo prasadena. Bhaktayo is in dvivachan because there is Krishna and the bhakta. So together dvivachan is there, prasadena, by their mercy. It appears by sadhana in normal. Adhya to prakriya, praika means appearance through sadhana is normal way it appears. Its appearance by mercy is rare. Vidya Udaya Virala. And I will, one second. I hope the audio is clear. Some problem with the
It's
net.
breaking between it was breaking.
Breaking, huh? Oh, just a second, then maybe I'll change the audio. I'll change the net connection. Okay. Yes, now is it better, Prabhuji? Yeah, I think this is a good connection. Okay. And sometimes devotees, ultimately I'll just do my sadhana, whatever little I can. Spiritual master will give me mercy and, I'll attain perfection. So this is how the mind can cheat. But here, Rupa Goswami is saying its appearance by mercy is rare. It's very, very rare. And we will see the evidences. When we see the evidences, it becomes very clear about it. So Bhava appears in two ways, by absorption in sadhana abhinivesha, and this is normal way in which. So sadhana siddha, we know there are these sadhana siddha, kripa siddha. We have heard this, sadhana siddha and kripa siddha. So by sadhana we can attain siddhi, and by mercy of Krishna or his devotee, its appearance is very rare. Srila Prabhupada in his summary study speaks about a PhD degree awarded. Somebody like, there are many examples in India. Rabindranath Tagore, although he did not go to college and pursue his PhD, but he got a PhD degree sitting at home. So this is very, very rare. It's not that, everyone will sit at home and get a PhD degree. No, it was very rare for him, Rabindranath Tagore. So similarly, it's not that without doing sadhana, you will attain bhava. No, it's very, very rare. That's what is the point Rupa Goswami is making. This verse describes two ways in which bhava appears, by sadhana, by the mercy of Krishna or his devotee. Vishnu Thakur's commentary. Now, sadhana abhiniveshena, absorption in sadhana means by bhakti at the stage of nishta after anarth nivritti. So here is mentioning, is clarifying the term, what does that sadhana abhinivesh? That means by Vaidhi sadhana, and later on when sadhana becomes more steady, we cross through the stage of anarth nivritti and attain nishta. We practice raganuga bhakti. That means the higher stages also are there. Ati dhanyana means of those who have the great fortune which arises from previous association with great devotees. That is what is meant by Ati Dhanyam. Jiva Goswami. In this verse, the cause of bhava arising in the devotees in this world is discussed. In this world, how bhava arises is discussed. Persons who are very fortunate, ati dhanyanam, by prior association with great devotees. So, devotees, as much as possible, should try to associate with very exalted devotees. Whenever they get that kind of physical association in wherever temples they are staying, and best is to hear very exalted devotees regularly. That is also kind of association if we are really consciously hearing like that. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj very firmly says that he's not so much for hearing audio recordings. He said, if you can, just like when you're sitting in the front of the spiritual master and hearing, if you can be like that in that mood and hear, then it is good. Otherwise, if we are doing other things and not focusing on hearing in the audio what in the players what the spiritual master is speaking, then it is more of a like inattentive hearing. So we should try to associate with great devotees, because with that association we can advance very quickly. So there is two references he gives. Bhava pargo brahmato yada bhawej janasya tari achut sat sangamaha sat sangamo yari tadeva sadgato paraveshe tvai jayate mati. When the material life of a wandering soul, yadha brahmato janasya bhava, in this material world, bhava, has ceased, apavargo bhavet, O Achyuta, he may attain the association of your devotees. Tari sat sama gama. And when he associates with them, sat sangamo yari, there awakens in him devotion unto you. Tadaiva tvai mati jayate. Who are the goal of the devotees? Sadgato, and the Lord of all causes and their effects. Para Vareshi. So here he's quoting that Brahmande Brahmite. A soul is wandering from one universe to another universe. He's wandering within the 14 planetary systems within the universe. When he comes in touch with a pure devotee, what happens? He gets the seed of Bhakti Lata Beach. When he associates with, that seed. So come in touch with devotee, what happens is you also develop a desire to perform bhajan, desire to, practice bhakti. So there the seed is sown, and with the practice of sadhana, this seed will one day fructify in the form of love of God called Bhava. So that's why he refers this verse. Another verse he gives is a very, very famous verse from the teachings of Jada Bharat to Rahugun. Rahugunay tat nagugunay tat tapasa nayati na jaya nirvapanad grahadvan na chandasa naiva jalagni surya vina mahatpada rajo vishekam. Without bathing in the dust from the feet of the great devotees, vina mahatpada rajo abhishekam, one cannot realize the Lord. Na etadyati. Through concentration of mind, tapasa, performance of sacrifice, ijjaya, distributing food, nirvapanad, building shelters for the destitute, grahadva, studying the Vedas, chandasa, or performing austerities in water, fire, or the sun. Jala, Agni, Surya. So we know that in India, especially in the Himalayas, they are the Naga Babas. You must have heard about the Naga Babas. So they do extreme austerities to become free from the desires in the heart, especially in the form of lust, anger, greed, these shadrapus. And in the extreme cold in the Himalayas, they are in the ice. And in the extreme heat, they come near the land, and nearby They set fire all around and they sit there. So extreme dualities, this kind of tapasya they do just to become free from material desires. So this verse, actually, one of the sannyasis told me this verse was written on the board for a Bhagavatam class, and he told that this is the most important verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The most important verse in the entire Bhagavatam. That we should ultimately get the dust of the feet of a great devotee. The dust means not, again, serving the great devotees also we get their mercy. So like that we should understand. Do you know about any other verse in the Bhagavatam which speaks about, that with the same mood, what Maharaj Jad Bharat is speaking? There is another verse in the Bhagavatam which speaks that without getting the dust from the great devotees, all our endeavors are fruitless. All other paths will also not help us. Anyone knows can raise their hand. Anyone is aware? There is another important verse, very similar, Rajo Abhishekam. Of course, I have not put this in the slide. I will do it. I just recollected now. Anyone knows can raise their hand. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes in the Prahlad Maharaj teachings. Prahlad Maharaj also speaks. There also the word is Rajo Abhishekam. It is mentioned by Prahlad Maharaj. So I will find out and then later on add it in the slide. Okay. Discussion that is more detailed will be found in Bhakti Sandarbha. That's what, he concludes the discussion, Jiva Goswami. If you want to know more about this, he says, refer Bhakti Sandarbha. Okay. Now, we know that in how many ways Bhava can appear in a devotee. Anyone would like to answer? Raise your hand. Okay, Santana Mataji, Santana Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Yes.
Bhava appears in two ways.
Yeah, which are the two ways?
By absorption in sadhana and by the mercy of Krishna or his devotees.
Okay, fine, very nice. You are a teacher?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, I could. Excellent. Okay. Yes. Okay, so now let us see the next verse. Now he says, Tatra sadhana abhinivesha ja. Ja means born. So now he gives the evidence how Bhava Bhakti appears by sadhana abhinivesh. Vaidiraga marga bhedena parikirtita dvida duvida khalo bhavotra sadhana abhiniveshaja. Sadhana abhiniveshastu tatra nishpadayan ruchim haro asaktim utpadya ratim samjayante ashu. Bhava arising from sadhana, sadhana abhiniveshaja bhava, has two types. So within now sadhana abhinivesh, there is two types. Arising from Vaidhi sadhana and arising from Raganuga sadhana. Vaidhi Raganuga marga bhedena parikirtita. Absorption in sadhana, nishta here, very clear, in the bracket it is given. Sadhana abhiniveshtu produces Rati. Tatra Ratim, Ruchi, not Rati, Ruchi. Tatra Ruchim Nishpadayan. Then Asakti. Haro Asaktam Utpadya. Haro means towards Hari, we develop Asakti. And then Rati or Bhava for the Lord. So here in this verse, he's speaking about how through sadhana, one attains Bhava. First is you attain Nishta, then Ruchi, then Asakti, and then Rati or Bhava for the Lord. Very clear it is. Bhava may arise by Vaidhi sadhana or Raganuga sadhana. This is Vishnu Chakravarti's commentary. This gives rise to two varieties of bhava. There are two varieties of bhava. Sadhana gives rise to nishta. Without developing ruchi and then asakti, how will bhava give rise? How will bhava arise? So this was the word, na, nishta. So many you might think that just coming to the stage of nishta will attain bhava. No. So here, Vishwanath Thakur is putting a question without developing ruchi and asakti, because after nishta, the next stage is ruchi. After ruchi is asakti. And only at the end of asakti, when we know that, yeah, okay, let us come to that now. What are the two characteristics of Bhava Bhakti? Yes, some of the discussion came. What are the two characteristics of Bhava Bhakti? Raise your hands. There are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. 2 manifest in sadhana stage, 2 manifest in Bhava stage. So which are the 2 characteristics which manifest in Bhava stage? First wave, almost it has become a wave. It has gone out of our, like a wave it's gone out of our mind. Anyone can try? Yes. Yes, Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, is it the means like pure devotional service frees us from the concept of liberation, and it gives us the transcendental pleasure, moksha lagudakrit, and the other one I'm not getting in Sanskrit, Prabhu.
Yeah, but at least the English, moksha lagutakrit, yes. You know.
And other one is it will put us in transcendental pleasure.
No, that is a lakshan of prema bhakti, sandrananda visheshatma. One quality what you mentioned is correct.
And then it is rarely achieved, Prabhu.
Ah, yes, sudurlabha, sudurlabha. So my point here, why I asked is that even if one reaches Nishta and then with Nishta he'll attain the stage of Ruchi with his own endeavors, he will, because once you reach Nishta, then your practice is steady and then you start getting taste for practicing, doing the devotional activities. And then slowly with Ruchi, Asakti will come to the next stage. But it doesn't mean that from Asakti, the next stage you will attain Bhava. Yes. Why will you not attain from Asakti stage? Because next stage is Bhava. Why will you not attain Bhava then? My question is now. What is the reason? Because we spoke about that one quality which is, of Bhava Bhakti, Sudurlabha. So why Bhava Bhakti is considered Sudurlabha in 2 ways? If you remember again in the first wave it was mentioned. What are the 2 reasons Bhava Bhakti is rare? How it is rare? 2 ways. Anyone would like to try? Can raise their hands. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, is it that because we can purchase Krishna?
Yes, but why? Why we cannot attain after Asakti the next stage automatically? What is the reason? Because Krishna does not bestow Bhava Bhakti. Krishna doesn't so easily bestow Bhava Bhakti. Yes, what he said is also true, that because if Krishna bestows Bhava Bhakti, then Krishna comes under the control of that devotee. So that's why Krishna has to carefully think. So that is the first point. Second point you have to understand is Bhava Bhakti is not attained by our endeavor. It is bestowed by Krishna. So just going through the stages on your endeavor, on our own endeavor, we cannot, come to Bhava stage. It is bestowed. When the Ladani Shakti and the Samvit potency of the Lord descend from the spiritual world and enter our heart. So that's why Bhava Bhakti is very Sudurlabh. So that's what, without developing Ruchi and Asakti, then how will Bhava arise? This verse answers by saying that one must go through those stages. Of course, the discussion here about Bhava Bhakti is a little different, but I just wanted you to recollect the first wave. That's why. So it's not that just by reaching Nishta, here the discussion is just not that by reaching Nishta you will attain Bhava Bhakti. No. You will go through Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, and then Krishna will test you, and ultimately he will bestow Bhava. So you have to go through these stages, the other stages, Ruchi, Asakti, and all. Okay, scriptural proof for Bhava Bhakti arising from Vaidhi Sadhana. This is first scriptural proof. Tad Adyo. Adyo means the first one. Tatranvaham Krishna Kata Pragayantam Anugrahena Shunvan Manohara Dhashadaya Me Nupadam Vishnuvata Priyashravasyang Mama Bhavat Rati. This is from Narad Muni's pastime in the previous life, which he's narrating to Vyasdev. This series is a very important series in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which gives us hope that Narad Muni, what was his qualification in the previous life? He is just a son of a maidservant. And just by associating with the Bhaktivedantas, he attained love of Godhead. And that took a few months. And, it's a hope-giving pastime. And Narad is personally speaking about his own personal life to Vyasdev. So here, O Vyasdev, Anga, in that association, Tatra, by the mercy of those great Vedantists, Anugrahena, I could hear them, Ashunvam, describe the activities of Lord Krishna. Krishna Kata Pragayantam. These became very attractive. Ruchi, Manohara. Manohara means, my mind was attracted to these pastimes. Thus, listening attentively, Asakti, Ta Shaddaya Me Anu Padam. Vi Shunvata. Rati for the personality of Godhead appeared. Mama Abhavat Priya Shavasya Rati. So here, now you can, it's very simple, but see this verse. Here, Ta Shraddaya. Shaddha, you know the stage of Shaddha. Shaddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, we have heard. But in this verse, what does Shaddha mean? Shaddha is actually what here? Anyone can try? Raise your hands. What does Shaddha refer to? Which stage of Bhakti it refers to? It's very evident in the translation also, but I just want to know from the devotees. There are two. Yes, it is Asakti. Yes. So we have to, that's why sometimes we have now become familiar. Shaddha Rati, Shaddha Rati, Bhakti Anukramashati. That verse is a famous verse from the Kapil Shiksha. So there Shaddha means Asakti, and Rati means Bhava, and Bhakti means Prema. So similarly here, Manohara refers to Ruchi. You're having so much taste that, when you sit for the Krishna Katha, your mind just flows towards the Krishna Katha. And then, so if this is referring to Ruchi, so then Shraddhaya refers to Asakti. It refers to Asakti. And then there is Rati. So Rati is Bhava. So this is one proof. The mercy or Anugraha mentioned in this verse means the devotees gave their permission to Narad to hear. This is a scriptural procedure. You should also listen to these talks about Krishna. Manohara, attractiveness, indicates causing the appearance of Ruchi. So Ruchi appeared, as I mentioned now. Shraddha or faith is mentioned in the verse since it is always a necessary element. Just because it is a necessary element, that's why it's mentioned. Okay, Vishnu Chakratakur. There, every day, by the mercy of the sages who were reciting topics about Krishna, hearing those topics, I developed Rati for Krishna, who has pleasing fame. Mercy, Anugraha, mentioned in this verse means that devotees gave their permission to Narad to hear. Following the scriptural procedure, you should also listen to these talks about Krishna. This indicates Vaidhi Bhakti. So initially he practiced Vaidhi Bhakti. The word Manohara means causing the appearance of Ruchi. Though one should mention that faith as a starting point of all stages is the cause of Rati, the description is given in this way to show the quick appearance of Rati from absorption in the stages arising after Anarth Nivritti. So we start with Shraddha, but once if the Anarth Nivritti happens, then the stages are very, very quick. So if you remember, I was mentioning about the graph. We come in touch with devotional service, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya. It's like a fast track. Then Anarth Nivritti is like climbing the mountain. So once you're on the plateau, then it's like going down, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. So now, the proof for Bhava Bhakti arising from Vaidhi Sadhana. This is the second proof. Ratya tu bhava evatra na tu prema vidhiyate mama bhakti pravritteti vakshate sayad agrata. The word Rati in the Bhagavatam verse indicates bhava. Okay, sorry. Actually, here in this next verse of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami is clarifying this verse which was quoted. This verse. He is given a scriptural proof. Now he's clarifying this verse. He's clarifying this verse by composing his own verse here. 1.3.10. The word Rati in the Bhagavatam verse indicates Bhava. Atra Ratya tu Bhava eva abhidhiyate. Not Prema, na tu Prema. Because two verses later, Yad Agrata, the appearance of Prema is indicated with the words my bhakti. Prema then appeared. Mama bhakti pravritteti saha vakshate. So in the flow of the Bhagavatam verses, that is, this is 1.3. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. In this verse 1.5.26 it is. So 28th verse, there is appearance of Prema which is being mentioned. So that's why he is just clarifying that this refers to not Prema but Bhava. In verse 1.5.28 of the Bhagavatam, quoted in the next verse of the text, Narad says, Bhakti pravritta atma rajas tamopaha. The word Bhakti indicates, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it's only here. Yeah. The word Bhakti indicates Prema. So in the next 28th verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter, there the term Bhakti refers to Prema. Thus, in the context, Rati in this verse means Bhava, since it is a preliminary state, and Bhakti means Prema, since it is a superior state. Thus, the difference between Bhava and Prema, as stated in the definition of Bhava, is illustrated. Bhava is like a ray of the sun of Prema. Okay, now the second proof is giving for Bhava Bhakti arising from Vaidhi Sadhana. Ittam Sharat Pravrikshav Ritu Hare Vishunvato me no savam Yashomalam Sankirtayat Mananam Munibhir Mahatmanabhi Bhakti Pravrittatma Rajas Tamopaha. So now he is quoting 1.5.28. Thus, during the two seasons, the rainy and the autumn, Ittam Sharat Pra Vrishava Ritu. The two, so just for 4 months, because one season is for 2 months, I had the opportunity to hear Vishunvato Me, these great souled sages, Muni Bir, Mahatma Bir, constantly chant Anusavam. Savam means nectar. Krishna Katha is our real nectar. Even in Savam is a general Ayurvedic term which is used for nectar. Sankirtamananam, the unadulterated glories of Lord Hari. Hare Yasho Amalam, as the flow of my prema appeared. As the flow of my prema appeared, Bhakti Pravrit Atma, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished. Rajas Tamo Abha. So this verse, it makes it clear that here Bhakti refers to prema. Now, actually, if you see, this is not the second proof, it's just clarifying. The second proof is here. Yeah. Tritiya Cha, the second proof, Bhava Bhakti arising from Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana, sorry. Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Samvido Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayana Kata Tajoshanadashu Apavarga Vartmani Shaddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishati. From the association of the best devotees, Satam Prasangan, topics of my glorious pastimes become directly realized. Mama Veera Samvido, bringing the devotees to Nishta. This is implied. Then the topics become an elixir for the heart and the ears at the stage of Ruchi. Katha Rit Karna Rasayana Bhavati. By taste, Tajoshanat, for these topics, Asakti, Bhava, and then Prema for the Lord, Shaddha, Rati, Bhakti, who is the destroyer of material life, Apavarga Vartmani, quickly develop in sequence. Ashu Anikramishati. So here we can see sadhana means just not that by Nishta stage you attain Bhava. No. Once Nishta is there, then there is Rit Karna Rasayan. You're drinking the Krishna Katha Rasayan from the ears and you're oblivious to everything else. And by that taste, what happens? Asakti appears and then Bhava and then Prema. So Shaddha here refers to the stage of Asakti, Rati refers to Bhava, and Bhakti refers to Prema. So in the third canto, there is similar usage of the word Bhakti. So here also Bhakti is referring to Prema Bhakti. So now devotees can, always study Prabhupada's books word to word, meanings, and the translation, and get deeper understanding about these things. That the terms have different meanings in different contexts. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. Now, this is not a part of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but I'm just quoting it because in this verse commentary, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur has very nicely mentioned. Only by the association with devotees does the mind develop attraction to the Lord. The stages are described here. The previous verse mentioned that association should be desired. That was the previous verse what Kapil Dev spoke to Mother Devoti. Then faith first arises. From excellence, prasanga. That's why we should associate with exalted devotees and hear Krishna Katha. That's why prasanga is mentioned. Satam prasanga. From excellent association of devotees, stories of my pastimes become nectar for the ears. From inferior association, there is only bhajan kriya, but the stories do not become nectar. Thus, from excellent association, the stories cause anarth nivritti. So here we can understand when we hear from very, very exalted souls, the anarth nivritti is very fast. For Narad Muni in his previous life, he heard from the Bhaktivedantas and his anarth nivritti was very quick. Then those stories cause nishta. Those stories become direct realization. Some vida means to realize. Some vida means complete realization of my great qualities, virya. Those topics then produce ruchi. They are pleasing to the ears and heart. From that taste, Joshanath, of those topics, asakti, shraddha. So here you see asakti, shraddha. And then bhava, rati for the Lord, which destroys material existence appears. So at the stage of bhava, once material existence is completely destroyed. Then prema, bhakti follows in this order, anukramishati. So prema here is the bhakti. Very nicely, Krishna Thakur has given a commentary here. The bhakti explained by me now will be preached in the world following this sequence. Okay. So any questions, any clarifications up till now you have, till now what we have discussed? Okay, I have a question then for you. So which are the two scriptural proofs Rupa Goswami is giving how sadhana bhakti gives rise to bhava? Which are the two scriptural proofs he is giving? Anyone can raise their hand. Don't type because I would like to again ask questions based on the answer. Which are the two proofs? Scriptural proofs. You can try. Okay. Yes, Lata Mataji. So the first proof is which one?
Prabhu, that is Bhagavatam, where Narada Muni was saying that when he was having
Yes.
during the seasons that.
Yes, yes. And the second scriptural proof is?
3.25, I think. Prabhu.
Yes, yes. It's not 1.3 to 1.28.
Yes, 3.25.
Yes, that is why I was asking this question. There he is just clarifying that their Shaddha meaning is what? Shaddha there is referring to asakti. Okay. And even in the Kapil Shiksha, their Shaddha, Rati, Anu, and Bhakti. See, because Rati we know, Rati is Bhava. Yes. And Shaddha, from Shaddha directly you attain Bhava. So definitely the previous lines, there is that sequence. So that's why, to make it clear, I have explained it. Okay, fine. Okay, so now the next verse. Purane Natya Shastre cha Dvayastu Rati Bhavayoho Samanarthaya hi Atra Dvayam Aikena Lakshitam. In the Puranas and Natya Shastra, Purane Natya Shastra cha Rati and Bhava, Dvayos tu Rati Bhavayo have the same meaning. Samana Artha Taya. Thus, in this work, he atra, they will have the same meaning. Dvayam Aikena Lakshita. So he's just clarifying about the terminologies of Rati and Bhava. In the Natya Shastras and the Puranas, now how many of you know about a little bit, I also don't know, frankly speaking, about Natya Shastras? How many of you know about Natya Shastras? At least devotees do dramas during festivals or during some programs. And dramas are always very enlivening. We all have experience. We like to be absorbed in, seeing the dramas. And we don't sleep in drama. We can sleep definitely in a Bhagavatam class, but not in a drama. Of course, if it is very exciting and there is a lot of hasiras there, or there is some bhayanak ras. So the Natya Shastras, it is mentioned that the demigods once approached Brahma and they said that give us something by which all our senses can be fully engaged for entertainment. And then Brahmaji spoke the Natya Shastras, the drama. I don't know what exactly one more term is used, dermatology or something, we use it in English, but it is Natya Shastra, basically in Sanskrit. And this knowledge given by Brahma to the Devatas has come down in this world through Bharat Muni. Bharat Muni has written Natya Shastras. So, we all know in the drama, if of course some horror scene is going on, and all our consciousness, our emotions are getting absorbed, and we are seeing, oh, what is happening? What is going to happen? Or there is one character in the dramas you all have experienced. This character makes a lot of jokes, and he makes us laugh. So, moment he enters the drama stage, you start laughing before he speaks. So the Hasya Rasa. So all these rasas, Mayanak Rasa, Adbhut Rasa, Veer Rasa, all these rasas we are experiencing in the drama when we watch dramas. So there is this rasa which is being given in the Natya Shastras, especially by Bharat Muni on this earth. So the same rasas, what we experience in drama, sometimes Karuna Ras can manifest, seeing the whole scene which is happening in the drama. Now, I'll just give you some example. This is a true story. In Orissa, there was a drama team, and they were playing the pastime of how Narsimdev appeared, and for the pleasure of Prahlad, and how Narsimdev ripped apart Hiranyakashipu. So this drama team, which was doing actually a drama in the public in Orissa, in some village, when this pastime came, the role which was played by Narsimhadev, this character, he was so much in the avesh of Narsimhadev that the character who was playing Hiranyakashipu, he made him sit on his lap and literally killed him. He literally killed him. And this happened on the stage. Can you imagine this? So much absorption was there. And then, there was a huge commotion, chaos. The police came, he was arrested. And at last he was back in the jail behind the bars. And the matter came up in the court. And the judge, he was a very sincere devotee who was playing this drama. And the whole case was heard. And when he heard the witness, the judge, he told very sincerely what exactly happened. I did not really want to kill him, but I was so much in the avesh. And that sincerity of the heart, what he spoke, the judge could understand. And in fact, he was released. He was released. Now, after he got released, he came back. He came back to the same group. And the next drama they were playing was Ramayana. And he was given the role of Dashrath. And this whole pastime where Kaikeyi asked the boons, and then the whole night scene was going on. And then Dashrath goes to, a state of emotional depression, you can say. Actually, it's not depression because that's not the term you can say, but just to give you an idea. That's Vira, So when Lord Ram left the stage, when the drama was going on, the character now who was playing Dashrath, he went into so much separation of Lord Ram that he left the world on the stage. Can you imagine? This happened again live. So such was the Abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means absorption in the character. So similarly, we can get fully absorbed in the drama. And I heard one very senior devotee was telling me that in his village in childhood, everywhere there were dramas. And the Draupadi Vastra Haran Leela pastime was going on. And this whole pastime, which was happening in the drama in the village, went for 7 days. Can you imagine? Every day it was like, Draupadi's, asking help to Bhishma, Bhishma replying, and then, all these events, 7 days, the whole drama was going on. Sometimes when the drama was going on, the way the characters were playing, that the audience were so much emotional that they used to get up and say, Bhishma, you should help her. So much is the absorption. So there is this rasa in the drama, and Rupa Goswami actually took these rasas from the Natya Shastras, and he said that these rasas are there eternally with the soul in relation to the Supreme Soul, the spiritual rasa. So he took actually the rasa concept from the Natya Shastras, and he mentioned that these are there in the Krishna Lila. So these are which are completely spiritual, and that's how he composed the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's all coming from the Natya Shastras, but these Natya Shastras rasa is not spiritual, but if it is taken in, means all the Natya dramas are in relation to Krishna, then they can enhance our attraction towards Krishna. So dramas are very important for devotees, and that's what I just gave a little idea. So in the Natya Shastras, these terms are used, Rati and Bhava, and they have the same meaning. Okay. Proof for Bhava Bhakti arising from Raganuga Sadhana. Dvitiyo Yatha Padme from the Padma Purana. Nityam Manoratam Bala Urvati Nritya Utsuka Hari Pritaya Chatam Sarvam Ratrim Evatyavahayet. A young girl, Bala is, referring to a young girl, having great joy in her heart, Nityam Manoratam, and being very enthusiastic to dance. Nitya Utsuka. Utsuka means very, very enthusiastic. Spent the whole night dancing. Tam Sarvam Ratrim Eva Vayahat. In order to please the Lord. Hari Pritya. So from the Padma Purana, there is one evidence given. This young girl, did not practice any sadhana bhakti, but she had great joy in her heart, and with great enthusiasm, whole night she danced, and with this kind of sadhana, with great spontaneous attraction towards the Lord, she attained bhava. Again, this is also very rare if you see. What to speak of rarity of directly getting Krishna's mercy by Bhakta Prasadena or Krishna Prasadena. Even by Raganuga Sadhana directly, one night dancing completely for the pleasure of Lord, and you're bestowed bhava. The word Manoratham, with great joy in the heart, indicates Raganuga Sadhana. So I mentioned great joy in the heart. By the influence of the deity form, she developed rag similar to that of Krishna's dear associates. The goal has also said previously in the same Puran. So this girl in the same Puran, means in the Padma Puran, it is mentioned. Among many women, Bahushu Anneshu Narishu, the Lord has greatest affection for me. Maya eva adhika pritaman. He dances with me while embracing my neck. Nityatya aso maya sardam kanta shleshadi bhavakrit. So this girl is speaking this verse in the Padma Purana, that among many of the women, the Lord has great affection for me, and he dances with me while embracing my neck. That's what she says. But though this claim is made by the young girl in the Padma Purana, it is also said that Radha is the supreme lover of Krishna in the Gautami Tantra. Now he's giving this evidence of the girl speaking in Padma Purana, but now Jiva Goswami is clarifying now that Radha is the supreme lover. Sattvam tattvam paratattvam cha tattvatrayam aham akila tri tattvam rupina sapi radhika mama vallabha. Prakrite para evaham sapi machakti rupini. I am the three principles, effect, cause, and that which transcends both cause and effect. Radhika is my dear lover, and is also these three principles. Just as I am transcendental to matter, so is she, my energy transcendental to matter. In the Gautami Tantra, Krishna also says, Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarvakanti Sammohini Para. Radhika is said to be the same as Krishna. She is the supreme deity, Paradevata, representing all auspiciousness, all beauty, Sarva Lakshmi, Sarva Kanti, and supreme attraction. So how can this girl claim that she has the greatest affection for me? That among all the women, the Lord has greatest affection for me. How can she claim? Because the Lord has greatest affection for only Srimati Radharani. So these two verses prove that. Rupa Goswami has quoted two verses. In this way, Radha has been described. It should be understood that the young girl mentioned in the verse must be an expansion of that celebrated Radha who embodies that great eternal Shakti. So this girl is an expansion of Srimati Radharani Shakti. Radha decided to make the girl her Sakhi when the girl reached the final stage, and by her mercy considered that the girl achieving all perfection by that sadhana was non-different from herself. In that sense, it has been spoken. For this reason, the Padma Purana described that the young girl thought herself as the only lover of Krishna, identifying herself as Radha. Now, again, if you remember in Raganuga Sadhana, we mentioned identification like with Nanda Maharaj. In that mood, Vatsalya Bhav, trying to follow in the footsteps, is the right mood for Raganuga Sadhana. But if you have a conception that I am Nanda Maharaj, that means you want to take the post of Nanda Maharaj, then that is a kind of a Mayavadi contamination. Angrupasana, as I mentioned. No? So identification here, is in oneness with same mood of Radha, but there is a difference also. Like that, we should understand. Okay. Fine. Bhava appears in two ways: by absorption in sadhana, by mercy of Krishna or his devotee. This is rare, and it's normal by sadhana. And now we saw Bhava appears in two ways: by absorption in sadhana, that is by Vaidhi sadhana. Two references we saw, and this was just a clarification. And the girl in Padma Puran to Raganuga sadhana. Okay, now by mercy of Krishna or his devotees. Okay, any questions, any clarifications up till now? Any questions or any clarifications? Anyone has any questions? Okay, then we'll proceed ahead. Sorry. Now, ways in which Bhava appears. Again, we are discussing the same topic. Bhava arising from the mercy of Krishna or his devotees. Ata Shri Krishna Tad Bhakta Prasadaja. Krishna or his devotee, mercy. Prasad here means not Mahaprasad which we eat. Prasad also means mercy. Ja means born. Sadhanena vinayastu sahasyeva bijayate sabhava Krishna tad bhakta prasadaja iti yate. That bhava, sabhava, which appears suddenly, sahasa eva bijayate, without performance of sadhana. Sadhana nena vina is known as bhava produced from the mercy of Krishna or his devotee. Krishna tad bhakta prasadaja iti iyate. Okay, let us see now. By Krishna's mercy. Ata Sri Krishna Prasajaja. Which are the two categories by which Bhava can appear suddenly? Suddenly, without any, it is bestowed, no? We saw that. Suddenly, which are the two ways? Two, either it can be by Krishna or his devotee. As his devotee. Now Rupa Goswami is speaking about Ata Sri Krishna Prasajaja. That means by Krishna's mercy. Devotee mercy he will speak later on, but by Krishna's mercy. Prasada Vachika Aloka Dana Hardadayo Hare. This mercy, Prasada, arises from the words of the Lord, Harer Vachika, and the presence of the Lord, Alokadan, or just appearance in the heart, Harda Adayo. So Krishna can give his mercy by just speaking words to the devotee and he'll attain Bhava. Or Krishna can directly give darshan. He can come and give darshan, or he can directly appear in the heart. And now devotees can do some exercise. Can you give some examples of first, second, and third? First is, I think I put it in the chart here. Yeah. Now you can see this chart. Bhava appears in two ways, sadhana and mercy of Krishna over his devotees. Now within sadhana, we saw Vaidhi, two references. By Raganuga, one example, one reference. Now, by the mercy of Krishna and his devotee, first we are discussing mercy of Krishna. And mercy of Krishna can come in three ways. By words, just words spoken by the Lord, presence of the Lord, or appearance in the heart. Okay, any examples now you can quote before we see Rupa Goswami's examples? Who would like to try? Some references from the Bhagavatam where Lord spoke or Lord gave darshan or Lord appeared in the heart. Any examples, any references? Madan Mohan Chaitanya Prabhuji. Yes.
This Dhruva Maharaj was able to witness.
Yeah, he had direct darshan and he attained
Krishna
prema.
after
Yes.
6 months of his life.
Yeah. But of course, he performed his sadhana also. We know that directly Lord giving this, but I just wanted to know the examples of just this.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
one more question. In Jharkhand, the animals also chanted with ecstasy, and the puppy dog also in Chaitanya Lila.
Yes, they directly got, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke the words.
Yeah.
He gave the dog a pulp and he said, chant Hare Krishna. He chanted and went back to God.
Coconut pulp.
Yes, coconut pulp. Okay. Any other examples? Devotees have typed here. Let us see. Yes, Narad appearance in the heart is there. Appearance in the heart, Narad Muni in his previous birth. Yes, he appeared. Any other examples further? Mohan Rup Sham Prabhuji is very silent today. I don't know why. Any example you can give from the heart? Sorry, one second. From the heart. Directly from the heart. Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Yes, Prabhu.
First verse of Bhagavatam.
Yeah, Brahma.
Brahma Hridaya Adikave directly.
Yeah.
How do you forget? Okay. But of course, all the examples which you have given now, they are not exactly this what we are discussing. Please remember.
Yeah.
Because they all did. Brahma did tapasya, Dhruva did tapasya. So let us see now. Without undergoing any sadhana, nothing, directly attained Siddhi. By the mercy of Krishna. Okay, let us see. The mercy may be produced by the words spoken by the Lord, Vachika. Alternatively, the Lord may bestow mercy producing Bhava by showing himself to the devotee. On the other hand, the mercy may simply manifest in the devotee's heart, Harda. Mercy given by Vrindavan and other items is included in mercy given by devotees. Vrindavan Dham also can immediately, uh, give that. Okay, now let us see proof for Bhava arising from the mercy of Krishna, Vachika. Vachika Prasad, verbal mercy. Tatra Vachika Prasadaja Yata Naradiye. Sarvamangala Murdhanya Purnanandamayi Sada Dhvajendra Tapamayi Astu Bhaktir Avyavicharini. O best of the Brahmanas, Dvija Indra, Dvijendra it is. May you have undeviating bhakti, bhava for me. Why may avyavicharini bhakti rastu. Now the Lord is speaking here, this verse in the Naradi Puran. May you have undeviating bhakti, saying. That bhakti is the crest jewel of all auspiciousness. Sarva mangala murdhanya, and full of bliss eternally. Purnananda mayi sada. So I don't know who these Brahmanas are, and the reference because it is mentioned in Nati, but they attained Bhava when the Lord spoke like this, and he bestowed his mercy, and they attained Bhava. Proof for Bhava arising from the mercy of Krishna, Alola Dan, showing himself. Adrisht, okay, Alola Danaja Yata Skande from the Skanda Puran. Adrishta Purvam Alokya Krishnam Jangala Vasina Vikalyad Antaratmana Rishtim Na Krastum Isare. When they saw Krishna, Alok Krishnam, who appeared like nothing they had seen before. Adrishta Purvam. We have never seen Purva, this kind of drishya. The hearts of the residents of Jangala, Vasina Antaratmano, melted. Vikli Dvat, and they could not take their eyes away from him. Drishtim na krashtum Ishare, Skanda Puran. Krishna also passed through the province of Jangala, where it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Anyone? In the first canto, I'm just giving a hint. Anyone has any idea? Anyone? So the Bhishma prayers are there in the 9th canto. In the 10th canto, Krishna leaves Hastinapur. So the Pandavas are feeling separation. And the 11th chapter, first canto, 11th chapter, Krishna arrives at Dwarka. So his travel journey is mentioned, how he from Hastinapur went to different there. So there also, many residents of those places had darshan of Krishna. But imagine the mercy of Mahaprabhu when he went in the South India Yatra. Just seeing Mahaprabhu, they were attaining Krishna Prem. No Shaddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Anarth Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhavastri, direct Krishna Prem. And not only that, these devotees who attained Prema, when they were seen by other devotees, other people, they also attained Prema. So what a mercy Mahaprabhu manifested. Okay. Harda. Prasada antaro yah syat sa harda iti katyate. First is defining what is harda in the heart. Now here heart refers not to the heart, physical heart, which is part of the gross body, nor the emotional heart, which is part of the subtle body. It refers to the soul. The soul's Harda Rupa Bhakti. We saw that, if you remember, when we discussed Sadhana Bhakti, first verse, 1 to 1. There are Bhava, emotions. So Harda Rupa Bhakti is the emotional aspect of the soul. The Bhava are what? Emotional manifestation of the soul. That's why Arth refers here to the soul. That mercy which arises from within, prasada antarano yasvat, is called Harth. So he is defining what is Harth. Arises from within. Yatha shuk samitayam mahabhagvato jata putraste badarayana vinopayer upeyabhut vishnur bhaktir ihodita. O Badarayana, you have given birth to a great devotee, Mahabhagavato Jata, as your son, Putraste, without sadhana, vina upayera, which brings about the goal, upeya. Upaya means upaya means end, or what we call as sadhana and sadhya. So upaya and upaya, these are the terms which are used also. Bhakti to Vishnu appeared within his heart. Vishnur Bhaktir Iha Udita. So this is from the Sukha Samhita. So this is referring to whom? Whom it is referring to? Who attained this in the heart? Sukhdeva Goswami, yes. Okay. Okay, and is there any example in the Bhagavatam directly in the heart? Lord or his devotee bestowed mercy and attained a person attained very exalted level. It's Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, Narad Muni was instructing his mother, and he was a born Mahabhagat. Bhakti to Vishnu, which is the goal, Upeya, has appeared without sadhana, Upayeha. The conclusion is that he attained Bhava only by the mercy of the Lord, since there is no evidence of performance of any sadhana or for obtaining the mercy of devotees. This mercy must have appeared through the heart, because he developed bhakti in the form of remembering the Lord while still in the womb. While still in the womb, he remembered the Lord. So important as part of Garbhadan Samskar that mother should read Krishna Katha to the children even when they are in the womb. One family was telling me that the mother was reading the entire Bhagavatam during a period of pregnancy, and the child is so much addicted to studying books, all books, story books, everything. He's so attached that even he doesn't want to give it up when having prasad. While in the womb, he did not see the Lord or receive words of blessings from the Lord. So that's why it is hard. Thus, mercy manifesting in the heart would have been the only way. The Brahma Vivarta Purana gives the details. Okay, now we have seen these three examples. Now we'll see by the mercy of his devotee. Tata Bhaktayo Prasadena. Two references, Prahlad to Narad and then Skanda Puran, Brigari to Narad. Proof 1, Bhava arising from the mercy of his devotees. Ata tad prasadaja tata saptame. From the 7th canto of 4th chapter. Guner alam asankayer mahatmayam tasya suchayate vasudeve bhagavati yasya naisargiki rati. Who can list the innumerable qualities of Prahlad Maharaj? Gune alam asankayer. It is accurately said, Sa Uchate. Su Uchate, not Sa. Su Uchate. But very nicely said or accurately said that his greatness, Tasya Mahatmyam, was his natural attraction. Yasya Naisargiki Rati for Vasudeva Bhagavati. We have natural attraction for Maya, but Prahlad had from birth natural attraction towards Krishna because he got the mercy of Narad Muni. Bhava arising from the mercy of his devotees. Now Rupa Goswami is just clarifying in this verse. Naradasya prasadena pralade shubha vasana nisarga seva tenatra ratir naisargiki mata. Favor or nisarga was granted to Pralad. Praladena nisarga by Narad. Naradasya prasadena, by his mercy he got. And this created devotional impressions. Tena atra shubha vasana. Thus his Rati is called Naisargiki, through mercy. Sa eva Naisargiki Rati mata. Now the second proof. Skanda. Ahodhanyosi devarishe kripaya yasya tatshanan nichopi utfulko lebe Dubdako ratimachute. O Narad, you are noble. Aho dhanya. Asi, Devarishe. He's a rishi among the devas. That's why he's called as Devarishe. By your mercy, Yasya Kripaya, the hunter, Lubdako, though low in nature, Nichapi, immediately, Tatshanat, developed goosebumps, Utfulka, and attained Rati for the Lord, Achyuta. Lebe Ratim Achute. So this is the second reference from the Skanda Puran. Maybe Parvat Muni was speaking this verse to Narad Muni. He's seeing astonishment by your mercy he attained. The hunter is Mrigari, and it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita this pastime. Okay. Now I want to ask questions. Who will answer? Who will summarize now? Who will summarize how Bhava Bhakti can appear? And with the reference quotations. Of course, you need not be specific, but just give some idea. Okay. Okay. Devotees can ask questions. Okay. Hare Krishna, what about Parikshit Maharaj? Yes, Parikshit Maharaj was such an exalted Mahabhagavat that Krishna gave him darshan in the womb. So which category it falls? Mataji, you only answer. Which category it falls?
Direct mercy?
No. Think about it carefully. You're saying correct, but I want specifically how Rupa Goswami is explained. First is whether it is sadhana or by mercy of Krishna and his devotees.
First in the heart. No.
Please.
He sees directly. He sees directly Krishna.
No. First come to the first classification, whether it is by sadhana or by mercy of Krishna, first you tell, or his devotee.
Mercy.
Mercy of whom?
Mercy of, because...
No, mercy of whom? His devotee or Krishna?
His devotee. Because
who gave darshan? Devotee gave darshan to Parikshit in the womb, or who gave?
Krishna only gave. So
okay. Now Krishna gave darshan. Among there are three categories we saw.
Yeah.
By words, by alola, and by harda. Among the three, which one? Aloka and dan. I'm sorry, harda, aloka, and
himself. He revealed himself.
No. Taji. Krishna spoke words and gave mercy, or Krishna gave darshan and gave mercy, or Krishna directly appeared in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj.
Darshan.
See, that's why you have to be a little specific. Okay, clear? Na? Okay, should I show the chart once again? Okay.
To explain in Sanskrit, I remember only the English words.
No, in English also. Words by the Lord, or it is Alokadan, presence of the Lord. He was present, Parikshit Maharaj, and appears in the heart, Harda. Okay, now who will summarize this chart? And before you all ask questions, I want to ask questions, I said. Who will summarize the whole chart? How Bhava Bhakti can appear?
The ways in which Bhava Bhakti appears is in two ways. One is by absorption, that's sadhana, which is normal. and by the mercy of Krishna or his devotees, which is very rare, only fortunate people who have prior association with great devotees get it. As regards sadhana, it is Siddha sadhana, and bhakti at this stage is nishta and after anartha nivritti.
Yes, okay. And what are the references for sadhana? By sadhana it is, which are the scriptural proofs Rupa Goswami gives for by sadhana? Two scriptural quotations.
No, I haven't taken that.
Okay, it's one is from the Narad Muni himself explaining to Vyasadeva, and other is the verse from the Kapil Shiksha, Satam Prasangan. Okay. Now within sadhana, there is by Vaidi you get Bhava, but again, yes, what you mentioned was very clear, Nishta, and then you go through the stages of Ruchi Asakti. Then by Raganuga also you can get. So what is the example for Raganuga? What is the scriptural proof for Raganuga given?
You said about that girl.
Yes, wonderful. For the girl, Padma Puran girl. And then there is some clarification given by Rupa Goswami that she is dearest among all the women. Radharani is the dearest, but because she retained the same, bhav, what Radharani possesses. Radharani made her special. Okay. Now, okay, by direct mercy of Krishna. So there are again two classifications in that. Can you classify them? Mercy of Krishna, two classifications, two divisions are there.
One is by direct by Krishna and absorption in sadhana. One is Bhava Bhakti is bestowed by Krishna, and then another one is
Bhava Bhakti can be bestowed by his pure devotee also.
yeah.
Okay. Now Bhava Bhakti bestowed by Krishna's mercy. Again, there are three subdivisions. How Krishna can bestow Bhava Bhakti?
Yeah, that is from by word or by his presence or his manifestation in the heart.
Yes, wonderful. Good. And by mercy of his devotees, which are the examples which Rupa Goswami is narrating? Which are the two references he has given?
Is it 1.3.20?
No. Narad Muni bestowed Bhava to two devotees. They are very famous.
Prahlad.
And then
1.4.36 and 1.3.22. And the hunter, I am not, because I don't know that story. Very
yes,
familiar.
Mrigari. Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay, we have finished this. Okay. We have finished this. Yes. Last verse for today. Bhaktanam bhedatah seyam Rati pancha vidamata agre viviccha vaktavya tena natra prapanchate. According to the different types of devotees with 5 different sthayi bhavas, bhaktanam bhedata, there are 5 different types of rati, seyam rati panchavida mata. These will be considered and explained later. Agre viviccha vaktavya, and thus will not be discussed here. Tena natra prapanchate. Now, which are the 5 different types of stahi bhavas? Please hear the question very carefully and raise your hand. Don't type it in the chat box. Raise your hand and answer. Which are the 5 different types of stahi bhavas? General bhava will be attained, but bhava also has varieties. So there are 5 different types stahi bhavas. Which are the 5? It's a very simple answer, but carefully think and answer. Let us see. What about others? All teachers only raise their hands here. Many are teachers, I think, in this group. All very studious and making notes and studying very nicely. Okay, I'll have to ask someone else also. Okay. Okay, Lata Mataji, you only answer because others are not raising their hands.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it Vatsalya, Madhurya, Sakya, Dasya, Shanta?
Yes. Shanta, Stahi Bhav, Dasya Stahi Bhav, Sakya Stahi Bhav, Vatsalya Stahi Bhav, and Madhurya Stahi Bhav, based on the mood on which the Raganuga practitioners are. Or Vaidhi sadhakas also can attain Bhava. These will be considered later. So he will discuss this in the southern division when he'll discuss the fifth wave, Stahi Bhav. We know that there are Vibhava, Anubhava, Satviki Bhav, Stahi Bhav, and Sanchari or Vebichari Bhav. So there when he discusses Stahi Bhav, these 5 things will be discussed. Now, reliable qualities of a person who has developed Bhava, Bhava Bhakti, Anubhavas, typical actions. So what are the reliable qualities? This is a very interesting topic, which we will discuss next class, that is tomorrow. Fine. Any questions, any clarifications anyone has? Okay, there is 2 hands which are raised. Yes, Madan Mohan Chaitanya Prabhuji.
When Prahlad got the mercy from Krishna, Narad Muni, and but what happened to Kayadu? Why Kayadu was not given that mercy?
Very nice and very interesting question. Anyone can think about it? I would like the audience to answer. Anyone can think, why did, it was Kayadu who was being sitting and hearing Narad Muni, and Prahlad got the mercy. What happened to Kayadu? Anyone can think about it? Mohan Rup Sham Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, what I have understood is like Prahlad Maharaj is having a previous birth history. In that he has performed some devotion services, or it is because of the costless mercy of Lord. That is one point.
No.
And
what point you're saying is Prahlad Maharaj had previous impressions. Okay. Now Narad Muni is directly giving spiritual impressions to Kayaduna. That's not mercy. What? Directly Narad Muni speaking?
yeah, that is true. But she didn't have a inclination towards it.
There is a very deep reason, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It is said that Kayadu, although she was hearing Narad Muni, but she was constantly, her consciousness was absorbed because her husband was practicing austerities there. So her consciousness was not present when Narad Muni was speaking. Always the concern was what?
That's true.
Yes. So we can imagine we might be sitting in front of a very exalted devotee and in the class, but our consciousness will be what is happening in my office. So no spiritual impressions will affect the chitta. So this is the deeper reason why, it is mentioned. Prabhupada mentions that in one of his purports. So she was always, her mind was, because for a wife, the husband is a security and shelter. So she was always thinking about her husband. Narad Muni, Prahlad Bhatt was a child, has, children learn very quickly because they're very attentive in hearing. So like that is the reason you can say. Okay. Is it okay and satisfactory to you, Madan Mohan Chaitanya Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you very much for your deep sharing. Thank you.
We'll stop here then. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare